Welcome back, Marvel fans.
We're here with more of your favorite heroes from the 1991 Impel Marvel Trading Card set. We've still got our binder full of Chris's cards. I don't know where mine went, actually. This is a set that I bought.
That anyway.
Yeah. This
Chris.
is a set that
That's
I
Brett.
actually. Hi, Brett.
I'm Henry.
Series 1, I had to like get whenever I could get the cards. But Series 2, I remember going like.
I bought a box.
And yeah, there was like by the time I found out there was a Series 2, we walked up and like, yeah, you can buy this whole set for like $20. Who cares? And we're like, okay.
Nice.
And there they all were.
So
and whereas Season 2, Series 1 took forever to get. I don't think I ever had them all.
As you can see, I have a checklist and I checked it out, and I got to check. She-Hulk is not checked. What's going on?
But we're going to jump into some more heroes. In the prior video, we talked about Spider-Man, Daredevil,
The
Thing,
Thing,
tons of classic.
What's the difference between Phoenix and Marvel?
Jean Grey, Phoenix, Marvel Girl, and all that good stuff. I mean, we've still got tons of cool stuff. We're going to talk about Wolverine, Hulk, Nick Fury, Archangel, Thor, Storm. So many things still to come. Let's get into even more of your favorite Marvel heroes. Number 19, The Vision.
Vision. I again
Still
love 80s Captain America and the Avengers, but I hate White Vision.
Yeah, I'm not into White Vision either. It was what happened when he got killed. He got destroyed and then rebuilt in that new form, and that was actually him being a secret agent for Ultron.
In the body of Victor Shade?
Yeah,
What?
Yes.
the name of Victor Shade. Like, wait, what?
It's a really good rap name.
Well, it's also sort of the body of the Human Torch too.
Oh, the original android?
The original android Human Torch.
Oh my God!
Which was so that's I believe who Victor Shade is, and that but this is another Paul Ryan workman like drawing, just like it's fine, and it's just like a pose like I'm taking on two guys, but at least you do see an illustration of his powers in the shot. That's
Getting shot in the kidneys.
But I also don't like that. What are Vision's powers?
Intangibility and shoot a beam out of his head.
So why would he make a cape that he has to hold?
Yeah.
He's striking a pose. Well, also, why would he give a crap to strike a pose?
Yeah,
Like, I don't
because there's a bullet going through him. Yet, ooh, my cape almost got cut.
I was always sure that this version would be the one we'd see in a movie, not the kaleidoscope of colors.
Yeah.
Of
I was very excited by that.
Glad they did that,
No,
because
I
this
wa-
is the one that's also in the Infinity Gauntlet. So like, this is the one you'll see Thanos rip his guts out.
Yes.
How long did White Vision last for?
Only about 5 years,
Okay.
I think, even less. I'd say he gets he goes to that change when he gets his magic divorce from Wanda. It's not really even a divorce. It's just like, well, I got reset and have no memories, so we're not married. It was more like an annulment, so they're not divorced. But
Can't have a divorcee.
not even a robot. Not even a robot can be divorced in the Marvel universe. But Vision's durability. He can be diamond hard, and I know that sounds too sexual, but that is how it's always described. He has the density of a diamond, which I think is 6-level durability.
Yeah.
He's as intangible as Shadowcat.
Kitty Pryde didn't seem to get any of the durability love there.
He can be as intangible as Shadowcat or as indestructible as a diamond, which is pretty damn indestructible.
Yeah.
So, but he also doesn't have the energy projection. Pretty much any AI gets to be over 4 just because, you got a computer brain, so you're super smart.
He is possessing significantly higher than average IQ and creative talents. Although I think was Spider-Man smarter than the computer?
He was gifted at 4.
Yes. Yeah, they're both at 4.
Oh,
That's
okay.
true.
Got it.
Spider-Man I'd put above him now. He's not. They don't make him super smart. I guess he's just more clinically smart. Whatever.
Ghost Rider is free. What? Sorry,
Yeah.
just looking at the chart.
For strength,
picture.
For strength.
Yeah.
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
Good old Hawkeye. What a dingbat. I hate it. He's had so many bad designs. This is another of them like that.
You don't like the 4chan glasses?
No, I
Whatever those
really don't. I don't like this design all that much at all, but this is back when he was a member of the West Coast Avengers, and this is after John Byrne stopped drawing him, so he wasn't as cool. John Byrne made him as cool as he was going to get, and then he made him less cool.
I forgot about the loin drape. It has been a while.
Yes, yeah. That just doesn't seem very functional in a fight. It's just it's all for distance, you know.
And his Did You Know, married to Mockingbird, who was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for like years. I mean, maybe she still is. I don't know.
They kept teasing putting her in a spin-off, and then they never made the spin-off.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was married to Mockingbird. She wasn't yet dead when they made this card. She would very soon be dead. And now she's back, and also she is just straight up divorced from Hawkeye. There was no cosmic.
Okay.
I guess they could say they were divorced by death, and they're
That is the name.
It happens a lot.
That is a cover of some 50s comic, I'm sure. Divorced by death.
Well, actually, Mockingbird wasn't even really killed. She was kidnapped.
No,
by
somebody dies, they get
Skrulls,
divorced, and they come back to life, and they're just not married now. That happens a lot.
Sometimes, then other times, they're like, oh no, we're still married. It's like that didn't divorce Reed and Sue when
Divorce
Reed died.
Scarlet Witch and Vision.
Yeah, well, that's because Vision said my brain was reset, and I look.
Classic excuse.
Yeah, but. They don't even, I don't believe, the Did You Know I'd put on here is that Hawkeye is deaf. They never talk about that.
Really?
He is functionally deaf. They always
I
have
didn't
him
know
have a thing in his ear, but he is a deaf. They dig into it more. It became, they kind of care about it and don't care
I
about
don't know
it.
that I ever knew that.
Yeah, I definitely didn't
In
know
Matt
that.
Fraction's Hawkeye, they do bring it up.
Really?
Wow, I read all that, I thought.
And it happens in Thunderbolts as well. And when he became the leader of the Thunderbolts and Kurt Busiek's run on it, then Fabian Isaiah's
I remember being great at votes, but that's about it.
But he's kind of a loser. Like, Hawkeye's always been a loser. He doesn't need to be played by Jeremy Renner to be a loser.
I hate it, Broats.
Yeah, but like, I mean, the Hawkeye era is probably the best version of Hawkeye there is, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no second place to it. I'd say Thunderbolts in the 90s was my favorite Hawkeye.
Maybe Ultimates 3.
Yeah. Well, in that he's
Ugh.
basically God. But in Ultimate Hawkeye is really just a good Bullseye. Like
Yeah.
he's the good version of Bullseye.
Yeah.
But yeah,
but
this
again,
was a bad time for
fighting
him.
ability not reflected here. So again,
Nope.
you would look at this and be like, oh, he's a goober. Who cares? But
Yeah.
he's actually very skilled at what he
I
does.
still think back to him in Secret Wars being like, I don't have any more arrows. I gotta build more arrows.
I'll be out in the woods, the
Yeah.
cosmic woods. Moving on, Silver Sable.
Hello?
Yeah, soon to be a star of a Spidey movie spinoff.
Wait, really?
Yes, well,
Allegedly.
you know. I mean, Sony has been saying they want to do a female-led Spidey spinoff with all their Spidey characters they have access to that would not be connected to the MCU, and one of them floating around is a Black Cat Silver Sable movie, which
I'm in.
they're basically the same character design. They're a woman with white hair.
It's like silver white hair, yeah.
Yeah, but the Silver Sable is from Made Up a Stan of Syncaria. That she started a group of heroes for hire, but for the 90s.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, hey, we'll be do good stuff, but you gotta pay us.
Albino Cobra behind her.
That is the most like 1985 outfit. Like
Yeah.
the
You know,
exercise.
N64 emblems all over her belt.
Yeah, wow.
Her costume would be so different just a year later.
Yeah, like
she-
that is a big 80s jacket with yoga pants. Like it's which hey, I'm into that. That's
Yeah.
fine.
It is so Jane Fonda workout.
But by 92, she'd get more of a costume that accentuated her top half, I would say.
Of course. It's time for that.
And also longer, bigger hair. But yeah, that she's pretty much a James Bond villainess. Like that's how she started. That
Yeah, she's usually like tracking or fighting Spider-Man, and then is loosely with her wild pack, like comes to save the day, do a Money in the Bank run in at the last second.
But she's face here to
Yes.
keep with the
she
parlay.
was kind of gray at the start, but she was
Silver.
but she would be featured in stories where Spider-Man would be like, I'm out of my element here in this like international espionage or the Red Skull killing a UN ambassador or something, and then she'd show up. They brought her back to prominence a few years ago just to kill her, and now she just reappeared again, so she's back from the dead. Her last appearance before that was in Ends of the Earth, the big Spider-Man Sinister Six crossover event.
I meant to pay attention like I did previously. She's one of the most recently introduced heroes that's still around.
Yeah,
consistently.
85.
85.
Yeah,
true,
it's
yeah.
important to look at anything after 80.
Because the thesis I came up with last time, like everything you see on screen is from the 60s.
Cable in '89's probably been our most. No, Gambit. Gambit or Cable, they're probably pretty close by. But
Well, we haven't got to the rookies yet, boys.
Oh, boy, yeah,
Wait,
that's
guess
true.
how many are still around? That answer at the end of the week.
Oh my god.
The end of the year.
whenever these
moving
finish
on.
posting.
Yeah. Night Thrasher, who was, I guess, one of the rookies before.
Barely. Well, the entire New Warriors were rookies.
Yeah.
But at this point,
89.
the new Warriors were just established enough to not be rookies. And that Night Thrasher, though, was one of them, as the late African-American writer Dwayne McDuffie at Marvel would bring it up, one of several skateboarding black teens that Marvel created in the 90s and 80s. They're just like, well, what do black teens do? Well, they skateboard. All right. So but he's basically, Night Thrasher was a Batman for the 90s who was black and had a skateboard. That's who he is.
But still, no fighting ability, shown here, and it's like,
oh wow,
yeah, he's kind of agile. He's not superhuman in any way. He doesn't even have like anything. He's just peak human in many forms, and then has a pretty tough set of armor.
He has the ability to step over fonts. Any font.
Any font.
Well, and his power was richness, like not unlike Batman's, that he just had the freedom. And he also brought together, honestly, the first issue of New Warriors is kind of like at least the trailer for the new Justice League film, where rich jerk then brings together the rest of these super people. That's what the first issue is. And I love when he reawakens Nova's powers by throwing him off of a roof.
Oh, yeah.
And then Nova's like, hey, you knew that it reawakened my powers. He's like, nah, I thought it would. And he's like, you son of a... I love that moment, but...
Specialized skateboard.
I mean, that is his thing.
Yeah.
Night Thrasher...
I loved his look.
Yes.
I've always hated the name.
Yeah,
Night
the name's
Thrasher
awful.
is such a lame name.
So Dwayne got killed in the Civil War first issue. He was one of the...
Oh, in the town?
Most of the New Warriors got unkilled that died in that scene. Speedball, Namorita... Marvel Boy, he wasn't even there.
Speedball came back as penance, baby.
Barf. But Night Thrasher Dwayne did not survive, so his younger brother, who looks very much like him, became the new Night Thrasher. But
could have had a new name and everything.
The new Warriors.
But R.I.P. Dwayne. I don't think Night Thrasher is going to be on the New Warriors TV show. I think he is so 90s.
Sad.
But I liked his mask too. There was just a nice little flip-up mask.
I like that.
Cool.
I like the look. I like how he's got bulletproof armor and then a sash wrapped around his thigh.
Well, and he's also kind of a weeb too, in that he was trained. He was trained in karate. He's a martial arts master, and he was taught by basically a female version of the Mandarin,
a master skateboarder.
And this, I felt like this was Mark Bagley being territorial too. He's like, I invented the character Night Thrasher. I'm gonna draw him for his card. But this, as I mocked many times in the last set, Mark Bagley can't not draw a moon. He didn't do it here, but you'll be seeing some Bagley moons up in this
I would
place.
like to point out, if you need to eulogize me, I would really like that background. I enjoyed quite a bit.
Like those checker marks on the wall. They remind me of Archie's haircut.
Wow. All right, 23.
Oh my God.
Delicious Puck.
Ram Man.
Nobody else cared to draw Puck, so they just gave it to Bagley.
No one gave a puck.
But Puck, Alpha Flight was kind of in a goofy situation at this point anyway. Like Puck, I only knew Puck. I didn't read Alpha Flight comics. I knew him as a constant joke in Wizard magazine.
Yeah, they would just make fun of Puck constantly.
Well, because it let Wizard do two of their favorite things: Canadian jokes and little people jokes.
Yeah.
Judd.
And the only moment I remember in the cartoon is when he jumps at Wolverine and Wolverine grabs him and throws him at Sasquatch. And it's like, there you go, that's Puck.
Well, he's just a squat, sturdy, strong, hairy guy. That's just Puck's character.
3'6" and 225 pounds. He's a bowling ball of a human being.
Yeah, that's what he does. Is he just bounds around with the force of a cannonball. But look at the agility, stamina, durability. If you compare him to half the other people we've looked at, he's better than everybody.
It's true, yeah.
Hawkeye, Jean Grey, all these people, his stats are really good.
I mean, if Alpha Flight wasn't created by a proud Canadian, you would think it was a parody of what you'd make, what a United States resident would make up of a team, including Puck, of just they like hockey, so a hockey puck, he's really small and black and
I never put that together.
Thought of it. Yeah, he's a hockey puck. That's what Puck is.
Man,
the Black Blade of Baghdad. That's who shrunk him down.
I forgot about that.
All right, that's your homework assignment, everybody. Full report on Black Blade of Baghdad.
Slow to age adventurer with the acrobatic fighting style can cartwheel into combat with the force of a cannonball. Yeah. Wow, that's such a strange skill set.
I was really liking him as a supporting character in the recent Captain Marvel series because he's still a member of Alpha Flight, but on a space station. Alpha Flight is not a Canadian operation anymore, but he has kind of a funny joke where it's a unisex shower on Alpha Flight, and he just like, hey, you need help scrubbing your back, Carol? Just let me know. And he's just walking around just nude, just a squat nude dude, like not ashamed at all, nor should he be.
Strength of 3, enhanced human, 800 pound to 2-ton range.
Wow.
Moving
and he's
on.
not even the strong guy on the team, like Sasquatch or Vindicator.
Moving
my
on.
God, are we getting a Sasquatch?
24, Union Jack. Not to be confused with Captain Britain.
Totally different.
What was happening? Was Britain making laws that they had to create new characters to sell Marvel comics?
Well,
Joey Chapman.
They needed a British Captain America equivalent to be in the Cap comic.
I see.
So that's who. I mean, you can see there that was his first appearance in '61 in Cap, but that '81. You can tell this is a Mark Bagley one. You got the Mark Bagley moon
there
right
it is.
there.
Bagley and Manley?
Yeah, that's Mike Manley, who was a rising star artist at the time. Though he didn't really go much of anywhere, he didn't become the next Eric Larson. His biggest claim to fame was drawing half of Batman 500. He is the guy who, actually, Joe Quesada designed it, but he did the first story starring Asbat in his Asbat costume.
I see.
And Mike Manley took over, and he drew for about a year on Batman, and he's just kind of been stumbling around from them. But
so the character of Union Jack is an analog to Captain America, fought in World War II.
Yep.
And this is just the third dude to be Union Jack.
There's been a lot of Union Jacks.
yeah,
He recently just got killed in the comics.
His strength and skill were greatly enhanced by the Pendragon, the ancient English mystical force that also gave its strength to King Arthur. Again with King Arthur.
Yeah.
But that's how he gets these stats that are kind of like out there.
When American writers think of doing stuff with British characters, like, well, Arthurian legend is that's a fun place to start. Though I don't think Black Knight, who literally uses Excalibur, I don't believe he is British. I think he is just an American. But anyway, yeah, it's Union Jack, kind of boring. I always was bored with him, especially like this costume just is. It is just the reverse coloring of Captain Britain. It's just Captain Britain.
Hitting almost just over the halfway point of the heroes. Quicksilver.
What a loser Quicksilver is. That's a Paul Ryan art thing again. But it's just like his thing is to be fast. And he's like, "What's your speed? 4? Oh, cute."
Yeah,
Cute.
yeah.
Oh my God.
It's bad. Like it's always been kind of a turd as far as speed. Subsonic. 250 to 500 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Which is like in the world of like superheroes and stuff, like especially when you're going to immediately compare him to Flash, and it's like do not compare him to Flash.
Archangel is faster apparently.
Yeah, and like just like when your thing is fast and you're like a jet could still fly fast. I don't know, like a crazy rocket car in a drag race, I guess. I don't know.
They've
like,
upped his speed since then.
They have, changed it, but like
It's baffling.
But it's definitely not how his speed was portrayed in the X-Men films.
Yeah.
Which is the best portrayal of his speed, comics included.
Yeah. That the movie's version of that
really
was
fun.
So fun.
I mean, they upped his speed from then on, from this point on, where they were just like, nah, he's faster than that, he's faster than that.
Yeah, definitely.
And by the time they made him an Inhuman recently, he's not a mutant, he's an Inhuman now.
Right.
Oh man.
He isn't as fast as a Flash, but he would be ranked as a 6
because
now. I would definitely
even
say.
his silhouette is supposed to resemble the Flash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. But though he was created as a villain, and I also think that in the 60s, Marvel, unless you were the Hulk, Marvel didn't want anybody on the godlike level of Superman or the Flash or Green Lantern. They're like, no, these are dudes running around New York City. They can't be that big. Like they can't be that great. And that's kind of where, but also Quicksilver was invented to fight the X-Men but be a lackey to Magneto, so he's gonna get beat pretty fast.
Yeah, so
and if he is lightning fast,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whereas Flash is like you're already running around Superman and Wonder Woman, like you got to be in that same tier.
You have to be literally fast enough to vibrate all your molecules to go through anything.
Whoa. He's introduced that early in the X-Men?
Yeah, he was one of the original
way
Brotherhood
back.
of Evil Mutants.
Yeah.
Wow.
Once thought, I believe, is Did You Know is definitely non-canonical now.
Yeah. Sister is the heroine known as the Scarlet Witch, and their father is Magneto, which, as of right now, is not true. But
Because movies had to change things, Chris, and to make them not part of the X-Men family of characters, they can't be Magneto's kids anymore. That's why
They even hint at that in the movies.
Well, they do and they don't. So Quicksilver gets to be a shared character. That one got grandfathered in, but Marvel made a clear stake of like, no, we have Scarlet Witch. You get no Scarlet Witch. You will not. I don't think you'll ever see a Scarlet Witch in the X-Men universe.
And I did like how the X-Men movie like playfully like shows like a little girl that is clearly his sister sitting at a TV. We just won't name her.
Yeah, it's him messing
fun.
around with it, but I didn't think it before it came out, but Bryan Singer's Quicksilver is way better than Avengers Quicksilver.
Yeah, we ate our words on that one. We had like a year of going boo duh, and then it's like
it'll be so much better than Joss Whedon's movie.
Yeah, and it was like, no, they did a great job with Quicksilver.
Yeah,
moving on.
It's the only part of those movies they like making, I think. Anyway,
speaking of which, Scarlet Witch.
Speak of the devil.
Wow.
Yeah, geez.
Almost powerless.
Oh god, yeah, those.
When she is
What a
also
whisper.
like she's alpha level. She's alpha level mutant.
She changed the universe for all of mutants in one of the biggest stories ever.
Yeah, because again, there's no energy
my
projection. There's no way to really categorize her powers. So.
Did you know she's Quicksilver's sister?
Oh, thank you.
It's funny that we just had that card, kid.
Yeah, like it's even the next card. Like.
Well, you can tell that they weren't too interested in talking about. They wanted to leave a relationship with Vision in the past. They're like, don't even bring it up. Doesn't matter that she was married to the Vision. That's all in the past. But she had been. Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch may have first appeared in the X-Men, but they were so Avengers characters. Like they just became
really
hardcore Avengers characters. So this
great art, man.
I love the art.
Yeah, it is really good. I believe that is actually I think it's still Paul Ryan. I think it's a really good Paul Ryan one. Those look like Paul Ryan cheekbones on her.
Yeah.
But that she also like her chaos magic is so powerful. It rivals Doctor Strange. Like she could have a good magic fight with Doctor Strange. She'd probably lose, but I'd bet on Strange in that.
Because this is like they spend less than basically half of a sentence to describe her powers. The power to cause unexpected and bizarre events to happen suddenly. Anyway. And it's like
manipulator of probability.
Yeah,
well,
probability.
When Stanley and Jack Kirby made her up, they're like, "Oh, it'll make Cyclops trip when he won't think he trips." That's what they think of, not like, "Well, your heart shouldn't be outside of your body," but like that's.
But hey, there's a 1 in a million chance it could have been. So
you could spontaneously. I guess the more you learn about things that shouldn't happen, like spontaneous combustion alone, like it just happens sometimes.
All these chemicals are in perfect balance in my body. What if there was more of this slider? Whoop! And now you're on fire.
Yeah, why don't you improve your abilities?
But that's what happens when dorks take over comics from guys who are just like, look, it's just a good picture. Who cares?
I just wanted pink balls to fly out of her wrists.
It's for 10-year-olds. It doesn't matter.
Now we got scientists explaining to me how Cyclops shoots ruby vision out of his brain. It's a pocket dimension, I hear. All right. 27. Havoc, another one of those Alex Summers looking worse for wear up there with his. But I love Havoc's design. That ridiculous costume.
We are deeply in X-Men territory now, and that his powers can't be defined.
Is that
so
Jim
well
Lee?
I think that is a Jim Lee. I thought Gambit was the only Jim Lee, but that is a Jim Lee ass face.
Yeah,
on the
that face is
You saw they're basing a bunch of variant X-Men covers off of. I don't know if these cards, but it's Jim Lee's card drawings.
I like that. Well, it's a great design, but he is like days away from joining X Factor and getting a completely different redesign. Havoc's costume basically stayed the same from his first appearance in the late 60s until this card. Like, because he was kind of in the X-Men books right before they ended for a little while, pre-Giant Size. Like, well, we need newer mutants in here. Okay, how about Scott's long-lost brother and Polaris, a good Magneto.
Right.
And they were these they get lost in the shuffle of like they're neither original X-Men nor are they giant-sized X-Men.
Yeah, with the new like Colossus, Nightcrawler, Wolverine, all that, and it's like they're kind of in between. So I mostly associate him with X Factor.
Yeah.
Even though at this time the X Factor is the original X-Men, who are about to become the Jim Lee X-Men.
Just pointing out one strength, but he can level a skyscraper.
That's that energy projection, man.
This is a forgotten X-Men fact that they don't do much in it. That like if you're the brother of somebody, or if you are a blood relative of someone, your powers don't work on them.
Yeah. So like Cyclops and Havoc can just go to town and nothing.
Yeah.
Well, they actually spell out Psych. It's like the Cyclops nickname is. Psyche is unaffected by Havoc's plasma blasts.
I guess they didn't want Cyclops, such as Cyclops. Like, they didn't want Cyclops twice.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, basically Havoc's power is what? He stores up radiation and then can, like, shoot it back out.
He also has the power to not age 20 years in Age of Apocalypse when he shows up again. Remember, he doesn't age a day from the 60s to the 80s.
And I read that whole, what, Mutant X, or what was the series where he was in an alternate timeline?
Yeah, that, the Exiles. Is Havoc in the Exiles?
It wasn't Exiles. It was something like Mutant X or something like that.
Mutant X was Nate Summers, the other Cable. Like, he was Mutant X.
This was like early 2000s. I can't remember what it was.
But he basically got to be in his own like pocket universe, having X-Men adventures away from the X-Men.
And like Storm was Bloodstorm because Storm was bitten by a vampire. Anyway,
that's right? Yeah.
28. Moving on.
Oh, here we go.
There he is. Crowd favorite.
Another Bagley Manley team up.
No
here.
moon though.
No moon. Well, the camera angle just. He also likes alleyways. So like, if I can't get a moon in it, then he's in an alley. He's
just in a Tim and Eric backdrop.
Yeah.
I guess.
Ballerina slippers.
I mean, he must be standing right next to Night Thrasher, but nobody. Like, Iron Fist was nobody in 91. Like, nobody cared about him. He was not a big deal. He was a 70s leftover with his... I kind of love his giant 70s neck.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. It's like, it's fine. But again, with no fighting ability, you do get agility and stamina here. The stamina being a 4, sustained for several hours at peak performance. So, you know, he's able to get some interesting stuff in there, but like...
You can't really express the power of the unbreakable Iron Fist in that.
And we're also in between any kind of good run for this character.
Oh, totally.
I don't think Luke Cage is even in Series 2.
No, I don't believe so. I think he's very close to getting a very sensitive 90s makeover for Luke Cage. Just like, look, it was the 90s, written by a white dude in most cases. Like, I don't want to say for sure. I forget exactly the writer on Luke Cage then, but... he didn't get great, but I mean, meanwhile, Iron Fist was like, we got a dozen guys who are kung fu experts. We don't need Iron Fist anymore.
Yeah, but he gets some fun stuff in the 2000s. So before Fraction went on to do Hawkeye, he had really good Iron Fist stuff. Fraction
and Ed Brubaker with the Hawkeye artist David Aja did the best Iron Fist thing. Just read that. Don't watch the Netflix show.
Good stuff. Number 29, Adam Warlock.
Oh, MG. I love that card.
So
Art Adams
there. God.
That is Art Adams as H.
Oh, and what's the eyeball guy?
It's just goons, numerous goons who end up in tons of Thanos storylines.
That's not the orb.
That's not the orb.
That's just a dude on a planet.
Yeah, numerous, like, that's just a serpent with a hat on. He's a goon. But Adam Warlock is in here. He wasn't even in the first set.
Well, because Adam Warlock just came back in Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah. So he is. It's weird. He's back from the 70s to menace the new Thanos storyline with the Infinity Gauntlet and all this cosmic stuff that's about to go down. But this costume is still his old, like, 70s costume. He doesn't have the Infinity Gauntlet costume on that you'll see in like Series 3 and then on the cover of Infinity Gauntlet number 3.
This is more him in his new age hippie outfit of the 70s.
So it's weird, but I mean, because he's about to become the new mysterious, like, heavy hitter in the cosmic world, his stats are bonkers. He's got this 7. He's our first 7 so far, which is light speed, which they bother to categorize correctly, obviously, as 186,000 miles a second, which is how I know that number is this card. But it's just strange in that, like, even moving that speed in space is, like, meaningless. Like, the space is so big that, like, so what if you could go the speed of light? Like, it says and faster, but it's like you can go 10 times the speed of light. Yeah. Who cares? That's still. I mean, it's gonna take forever to get anywhere.
We're so far into Star Trek that it's very obvious. Like, we know speed of light doesn't mean instantaneous teleport.
In Star Trek, warp 1 is speed of light, and even when they're like, we got to get there, warp 9 right away. It's like 9 times the speed. Like, and it's still like we're 2 hours away. Like, that's so much distance to travel.
Man, it looks like he's fighting like every single sci-fi movie of the 50s.
Well, that's what a lot of those things were.
Cool.
This could also be him when he's living in the Soul Gem. Like, the Soul Gem is full of weird crap.
Yeah.
So, but that's also why he's pretty much a god. That he is powered by one of the Infinity Stones. He basically owns.
He might not be fighting. He might be ruling over whatever these things are.
Oh, he's definitely fighting them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because when he fights the Magus, and when it's like, there's so many other things where, like, it's Thanos or it's some cosmic being, and like a lot of those 70s, 80s stories where it's just like countless goons that look just like that pour out of the walls, and you're like, where do these guys come from? And they all look like weird Hanna-Barbera characters. It's so strange.
He is Space Jesus. That
yes.
is what he is.
He's
down to his original name, him.
He's created to be a perfect being, and then gets bequeathed the soul gem, I think, from the High Evolutionary.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Well, and the Jim Starlin created him to be the Christ of his metaphor of like the Thanos' death, Drax the Destroyer, Gamora, all those people.
Yeah.
That's where Gamora was to be his Mary Magdalene, pretty much.
I suppose that explains his gaunt face. He looks like a shaved Jesus.
Totally. Warlock's not around much these days. I thought he'd be in Guardians.
Yeah, that was the big rumor.
We're recording this before Guardians 2 came out, so unfortunately we won't know if Adam Warlock does appear in some fashion.
Twist. They could save that. Honestly, that's a Phase 4 type character.
But if you're going to do the Infinity Gauntlet stuff, why do it after? Why bring him in after? Anyway, and we are in the number 30. Wonder Man. Did he have one in the first set?
I
don't think so.
He was dead at that point, so he had been rebirthed by now. Paul.
Holy shit.
This is
Simon Williams. I mean,
so this is weird. This is one of the few cards that has another character in the card, but that's his brother, Grim Reaper, underneath a rock, who's a villain you'll see in a card later.
Well, he'd always had a
Is
soft
he
spot
crushing him, or I guess
no,
he's saving him.
I've seen Wonder Man save his brother much more than hurt him.
Every time I see Wonder Man pop up in comics, I'm like, is this something being referenced, like the first Marvel character?
So what I like about Simon is
oh my god, 1964.
So he was created. Yeah, 64. He was also a villain first, who then made a face turn. He was invented by Ultron, kind of. He didn't exist before that. He's made out of ionic energy.
And double sevens.
He is crazy strong.
Yep.
Like he was invented to be another Superman. There are dozens of. This is the Superman in Marvel Universe. That includes him in his toughness. And that's what I loved him. One of my favorite era of him is in the 70s, where he's like, no, I'm a movie star. I don't have a costume. I wear clothes. I'm just the star, Simon Williams.
But he's the first two double sevens, but strength and stamina. So stamina 7 is immeasurable, never tires due to self-generating energy.
Totally
and he's
makes
even
sense.
the picture of him up there. So yeah, he just never gets tired.
He's most famous to me as a power-up in the Data East Avengers.
Yeah.
Wonder Man.
He is the strongest, but you could knock him out if you were strong enough to. A 7 can knock him out too. He's not indestructible like Galactus is. Like you can't destroy Galactus.
Wonder Man is OP.
Able to lift over 100 tons.
I'd really give him 2 intelligence. I wouldn't give him 3. Like, he's fine.
No. But yeah, outside of being in the Data East game, and there's that weird period where he is just energy Wonder Man, where he's just like energy with sunglasses on or whatever.
So he was a big-time West Coast Avenger. That's also why he was a movie star. That made him more West Coast.
Yeah.
And then when they would reboot West Coast Avengers as ForceWorks for the tough 90s, he was the guy who gets killed in the first issue to show you, things are pretty serious. He exploded. And then he would be resurrected first as only ionic energy by Scarlet Witch when the Heroes Return run of Avengers started after Heroes Reborn. And he's been around ever since. In post-Civil War, he became the anti-superhero guy. It's like, no, everybody should stop being a superhero.
I remember that.
And then he beat... I actually, one of my favorite Bendis Avengers run moments is when he beats Red Hulk like it's nothing. Like, he's just like, I beat you, Red Hulk. Like, just to set up... I think because Wonder Man had been beaten up so many times to prove how strong somebody else is, he needed a win. I can't not think about it like wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
He needed a win over somebody strong to set up that he also is big.
I mean, that's for jobbing. There's so much wrestling terminology that ends up in superhero stuff.
Yes, it was Baron Zemo who invented him, not Ultron. He was the original master of evil.
Number 31. There you go, Chris. Sasquatch.
Another Eric Larson scream at the camera.
Look at this nerdlinger over here.
A hairy thing.
Walter Langowski. Yeah.
But man, pretty decent power levels.
Yeah, but essentially supposed to be their Hulk, just super tough, strong, durable, and super smart. What the hell?
He was a scientist. He was the team scientist of the
Canadian Beast.
His wife was kind of
I guess, Canadian Beast.
he really well, but with a bit of Hulk because he could transform. It wasn't a permanent transformation, at least at first.
Hang on. Man, the sentence is so long, I gotta go back to the top. While experimenting with gamma radiation, Canadian research scientist Walter Legowski shattered the mystical barrier that separates our world from the realm of ancient interdimensional entities called the giant beasts.
Wow.
Now his soul is linked to the form of an evil northern spirit, calling himself Sasquatch, etc.
Wow.
Every country has a monster.
And this one fights for good! And he's jumping on a flashlight or something.
Boy. And yeah, there was a time when he was a woman. There was another Sasquatch on the team that was a woman. And one of my favorite reboots of Alpha Flight was when they had a Sasquatch in their team. They're like, oh, is this a guy that transformed? And they kind of eventually go like, no, it might actually just be Sasquatch. Like, it might be the mythical Sasquatches on our team.
His hometown is Saskatchewan, by the way.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah, I was trying to get there. But 32, Firestar.
Hell yeah, Art Adams Firestorm. She has transcended to regular Marvel Universe long ago she did. She was in the last set.
The original Harley Quinn?
Yes, she was Marvel's Harley Quinn, created for Spider-Man and his amazing friends because they wanted a gal on the team instead of the Human Torch. So they make up a mutant young lady named Angelica Jones. I get her confused with Jessica Jones, but Angelica Jones, the Jinx, as said in her origin episode. But that she got to join the regular Marvel Universe and quickly joined the New Warriors after being trained by the X-Men.
5'1", 101 pounds.
Wow,
that is tiny.
Boy,
it's Pixie.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Art Adams draws her like she's 101 pounds.
No,
and she's
that's
got a few more pounds on her than that.
Yeah, I'm not. Man, that is some '90s art though. With like, just there's a lot going on. There.
I love it.
Well, I love that her microwave powers are reflected in like circles and sort of lens flare.
J.J. Abrams lens flare.
It always scared me because I'm like, wait, it's microwave, so she's just like blasting radiation all around her.
One of her stories actually in Avengers was she was worried that her powers were going to cause her to be infertile. Because she's like, I want to have a family with you, Vance Astrovic.
I'm a living microwave.
But fortunately, Beast was able to invent a suit for her that canceled out those
that is form-fitting and...
Actually, there was a bit where she gets the costume the first time. She's like, I'm falling out of this costume. And the way they passed it off is not the male gaze. They're like, well, Janet Van Dyne designed it. She likes sexy girl costumes.
Right.
So.
She's big into fashion.
Totally.
And Wasp does not have a card in this, I don't think.
Nah, she was off being a fashionista this time, I think.
Yeah.
Her and Hank Pym were both off in a corner.
Oh, yeah.
You don't like talking about that.
Moving on. Yeah, 33. So...
Excuse me?
So...
This is the superheroes, right?
Death's Head.
Baron von Unterbite.
This design...
Oh, my God.
...is one of the most ridiculous characters of the 90s.
Absolutely.
And... He's from '88.
He's so strong.
Yeah,
his did you know is
he owns a pet vulture.
That's the most fascinating thing about this character, this satanic colossus. Oh my God.
I mean, he was a ridiculous character created for British publishing as well. He's another Brit creation, Death's Head, but he's like one of three newer characters on here who have death in their name.
Together with his partner, Sprat.
Well, when you see his first appearance was Dragon's Claws, that tells you he was in a British comic magazine.
What? Yeah.
So look at that weight.
Nice. But man, the craziest part about this is he'll be replaced by Death's Head 2 in a year, right? Yeah. Like a year. And the cover
replaced by Beyond Death's Head.
And Return of Death's Head. And then finally, Death's Head Forever. But the cover of Death's Head 2 is him holding Death's Head's head.
That's right, yeah. He's holding original Death's Head's head. That's how I even recognize it, because I think of, well, Death's Head 2 looks much more 90s.
Yeah, where he's like, Death's Head 2 is like a Terminator.
He's a He-Man character, really.
Let's move on. Who cares? Who cares? He's a robot or whatever. A peacekeeping cyborg from the far future. Sure. Great. Moving on.
Yeah,
another new warrior.
Bring on Speedball, baby. I love Speedball. I have a special place in my heart for him. This is an Art Adams drawing. I kind of wish it was Bagley, but Art Adams gets a nice kind of weight to him, and I think he does draw him like he's a 16-year-old instead of a man.
5'6", 133. It's very teenagery.
And he's just a guy who is like unhurtable and just bounces around and creates goofy little balls around him. He has a kitty cat who can bounce around too. Like his pet cat has these speedball powers that's why his durability is so high, because if Terrax, for example, punches him, he's just like boing, oh man.
Yeah. But not as high as Mr. Fantastic though.
And he was created by Steve Ditko to be his goofy, fun kids character of the 80s. He is a Steve Ditko creation.
Man, Steve Ditko created a character in the 80s?
He created two. Well, he created him and Squirrel Girl. It's also why they have been coupled together in comics, because they are both Ditko creations.
They're both like goofy, fun, weird. And that's why when Civil War ends and Speedball like is part of the giant explosion that kills all the kids in Stamford or wherever it was, and then he's like, I'm gonna wear a suit that has 100 needles in it, eat one for each kid that died, and then I'm gonna put the suit on, and every time I move it's gonna cut me, and now my new name is Penance, and I'm the best. I'm an anti-hero.
My goofy light ball powers will be transcended through pain into just lame energy projection.
Yeah.
It so sucked.
That's when I was like, man, no thanks.
And now he's Speedball again, and he's just a goof. Steve Ditko in the 80s did two types of comics. Goofy things for kids, like Squirrel Girl and Speedball, and then lengthy polemics about Ayn Rand and objectivism.
And a couple of GoBots books, apparently.
And GoBots. He had to pay a lot of the bills.
I dabbled in the GoBots.
The only person I can think of that Speedball beat was John Belushi.
Oh,
it's a bad joke.
Jeez.
Too soon?
I like that. I like that.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, he was supposed to be fun, Chris.
Yeah, moving on. U.S. Agent. I've always loved the name.
Yeah.
U.S. Agent.
U.S. Agent.
But
why does it need to tower over the character's face in the profile? I guess it's
USA's got to be that
all
big,
caps.
baby.
Yeah.
Johnny Walker is his name.
Well, so he's one of like three dudes who, more than three dudes. Captain America is about making up new identities that he then passes along to guys that kind of look like him.
Yeah.
He did it with Nomad, and then he did it next with U.S. Agent.
Wow.
And so
I'm getting some weird recall here. I have not thought about U.S. Agent in like 30 years.
When Cap quit, he then became U.S. Agent undercover, and then when he was like, well, let's not have his costume go to waste. But he passed it along to a much more right-leaning guy than Cap is. Very like centrist, old-school Democrat, maybe like 40s era Democrat, whatever that is, even on a political.
A real
spectrum
Roosevelt
today.
Democrat.
But meanwhile, U.S. Agent was just like, why don't we just fight the Russians? Like if you had him, in a scene, they'd be like, well, this is a dangerous situation with China. We don't want to piss him off. They're like, who cares? Like, let's just invade China. I think we got to be doing this. One of my favorite.
And here he is menacing Malibu.
When Dan, well, because he was a West Coast Avenger.
Right.
When Dan Slott had him on his Avengers team, the Mighty Avengers run, it was really good because he was an idiot who just trusted anybody in power, but he was a nice idiot. That they were just like, well, Norman Osborn's the boss. I think we should trust him. Like it basically just a guy saying like, well, if the guy's a president, he's a president.
I want to remember his stats because it just occurred to me we have not even seen Cap yet.
No, he's the last hero of the set.
Really?
He does have a vibranium. What a tease. He has a shield, but I don't believe it is vibranium. I think it's a step below Cap shield, and he definitely is not as skilled as a shield thrower.
Yeah, but I guess that he got some level of serum or something because he's above human.
Yeah,
which is weird because Cap is not technically not above. He's not superhuman outside of his durability or stamina. Cap's stamina is superhuman, but he's not. I mean, his strength here is 4. Like U.S. Agent is a 4.
That is pretty high.
Up to 10 tons, he's Spider-Man strong. Like
boo! I never thought his U.S. Agent is that strong.
No, I never did.
He's a fine dude to get beat up in a comic. I do like his design. Like replace a darker design of Cap.
Patriotic Venom. And he's usually an alternate color for Marvel vs. Capcom stuff. He shows up a lot as like the alternate costumes. 36.